Well, with that uproar over my rock collection, I thought that, maybe I could just take some pictures of it and let you all see. For one thing, it's kind of nice, there's some beautiful things here. These are some fossils here of different types. And I won't go into describing all these, but Michelle and Susie Q, you all ought to appreciate this, and that's really why I'm doing this, because you all said that you were interested in rocks too. You can see all these different types of minerals here that I have. Okay, and then we come on over into the, and you've probably seen some of these also in the background of some of my videos as well. Quite a few different rocks, colors. Here's some old flasks from a mine, back when they had miners, of course. These are the types of bottles they carried their, their drinks in, the type that made them high. So that's what those are. I found those around an old mine, as a matter of fact. And here is the ubiquitous, nefarious, notorious shelf with the pyramids, and as you can see, they're put there for a couple of reasons. One is that they're solid granite. The other thing is that that design, of course, keeps everything in place if there's a shake. I try to put large rocks on the ends of some of these others to do the same thing, but anyway, so there you go. And the owl, now if that's an owl, I'll eat my hat. That right there is nothing more than another fossil. As a matter of fact, you can take this out right here. See that? Okay, just comes right apart. It's actually okay, well, I'll fix that later, but I think you get the idea. And then I have these here. All right, okay, switching over to the other side of the room, you can see I have a lot of crystals here, things from mines, also from caves, certain types of caves. You got to be careful, of course, what you take out of a place, because a lot of that's protected, but these are basically just found all around. Different places you can go. Very nice minerals, lots of colors, as you can see. Have a nice one right there, and back over here. So I hope that was interesting. Now I'm going to show you some of these with a black light. Okay, and now I'm using a black light to show you some of these rocks. I'm sorry about the colors aren't going to be quite the same that I see, but it'll give you an idea. I just love doing this. It's so much fun. You can see how this black light really makes these brighten up, and the colors here that I'm seeing, of course, are phosphorescent, fluorescent type colors and lights. So it's really beautiful when you can do this. See that? The color that I'm getting here, there's green in those really, really bright spots. Did you see that? It's green. Almost looks like gold, greenish yellow. I wish this was a better rendition of the color. See the spots in that? It almost looks like there's gold in there. And this one here. Look at these here. Isn't that just neat? So if you have a rock collection and you've never tried using a black light on them, you might want to do that. Whoops, I knocked a little thing over there. Let's see if I can get these here. See this? It's really beautiful. Nothing much to the fossil. Some of these people thought was an owl, but if you could see it here, you'd see that it has really beautiful striations in it from the light. makes it really colorful. And like I say, this just isn't giving you a real good indication of what you can see when you do this. Anyway, just thought I'd take you for a little tour. Hi ladies and gentlemen, well, it is April 26th. I did that little thing on the rocks yesterday and last night so that you could, see something a little different. I like to do that every once in a while. And today it's really sunny. As you can tell, I have to wear a hat to keep the sun out of my eyes, but I pulled it up a little bit so it doesn't look like I'm hiding totally in the shadows here. Very pleasant, nice breeze, just a good day to be out. And I enjoy doing this type of thing on these days, so here we are. Well, just a real short one today. I just wanted to go back on this thing with the Boston bombing as far as the brothers are concerned, and so again, some people have asked, how does this takeover occur in our country? Well, what is it that happens? And it's or any country, and it is such a complicated yet simple thing. It's simple in how it happens, but it's complicated in how it's implemented, if that makes any sense. And I think the brothers Tsarnaev are a good example on the microcosm level as to how this works. Because we do the same thing to nations. We do the same thing overseas to large groups of people. You've heard me talk before about how the United States basically cultivated the Taliban and Al-Qaeda to fight the Russians. So they were our friends at that point. And then we need a scapegoat. So we have these operatives already. So, we name them as the bad guys. And then we justify invading countries and taking liberties away from Americans here at home using fear. And then we reverse it, of course, later when it behooves our intelligence services and our military-industrial complex. They've made this enemy, right? First a friend, then an enemy, and then all of a sudden they're friends again in Libya and Syria. And as soon as we're done with it there, of course, they'll become enemies again, and people in the United States just don't catch this. Well, these Boston bombing suspects, and again, I want you to understand this was an operation by the intelligence services with a small group of FBI in the know, okay? Because it is true that there have been times when the FBI has been investigating things, the good folks in the FBI, and the CIA would come in and tell them to stand down because the people they're looking at are their operatives. All right, that does happen. Well, in this situation, it's beginning to look like, and I've told you all about this pretty much anyway, but I'm using this as the microcosm now so you can understand. Remember the other day I said how we deal with individuals is also how we deal with nations, and hopefully, on the good side, we treat our neighbors as ourselves. We use the golden rule. That's how we operate on a good way. Well, on a bad way, of course, it works as well on the microcosm, on our neighbors. And that's what happened to these brothers. I'm sure that the older brother had been recruited in the universities by the CIA. The CIA combs all universities. There were some accusations a few years ago of a certain denomination that had missionaries in South America that were working for the CIA, and of course everybody denied it, but in fact it was true, and so not that the missionaries were actually missionaries, that was their front. But at any rate, these brothers are the same way. So what happened, of course, was that they were recruited in the CIA, and anybody who's been in college knows that these things are there, especially if you're, have a language capability, maybe an ethnic side to you that will fit into a certain geopolitical area. Regardless, that's what happened with these guys, at least the older one. He was recruited in, was given the job of infiltrating these organizations overseas, principally apparently in Chechnya, the Caucasus region there, and then coming back and reporting on that and making ties here in the United States. And it's not to protect the United States, you understand. It's so that they have somebody to use later. Of course, Chechnya and the rebels there against Russia, of course, have caused the Russians no end of grief. And they were U.S. trained. Okay, same people. So here we had this older brother recruited, went to work for them. And then as it suited them, I don't know whether he got into this thing in Boston because he thought it was a training exercise or if they had turned him to the bad side. One thing we know for sure, he was not a dedicated Muslim. Okay, he was not. He was, fast car, lots of girls, that kind of thing. Typical college student, okay? So the idea that this was some kind of retribution for what the U.S. was doing overseas, it isn't the case at all, not in this one. That's not what happened here. Now, you might wonder, how, he was the good guy, he infiltrated the bad guys, and then they used him in the end here, probably as part of a bigger operation, to set this bomb. I think the initial thing, as we've said, was to blame a white right-wing extremist with Al-Qaeda. I think that's how this was going to pan out. That way it would do two things, which it's ended up doing anyway. If you look at the end results of this, they've still pushed this. Restrict liberties at home and, pave the way for geopolitical dominance overseas. And that's exactly what's going on. So, I'd like to try to explain it a little better than that, but I think you'll see what I'm talking about if you just look at it closely. There is no doubt, as we've said, that these brothers were knee-deep in the intelligence community, at least the older one. The entire family's been under watch. And again, I was telling you, being under watch doesn't necessarily mean, that you're on the bad side. That's protocol. You're part of the surveillance if you're working for the agency. You know what I mean? Okay. All right, and let's see if there's anything else I wanted to talk about here. Oh, I was really impressed with Congressman Jeff Duncan's interrogation of Janet Napolitano. Well, we should have all given him a big hurrah, rah, rah, and I mean that in all sincerity. She tried to dodge the questions and then ended up with her foot in her mouth afterwards. When you see people in the federal government lie like this, it should be readily apparent to everybody. And Napolitano is obviously a liar, a deceiver, amongst other things, okay? This entire administration, administrations for a long time have had problems. The Wolfowitzes, the Pearls, the Cheneys, the Rumsfelds. They're not just confined to the Democratic Party. As you know, I don't buy into this left-right paradigm thing. They're all puppets of a master puppeteer, and that's the way it's worked. And nations have been, used in the same way. And again, I said these brothers were a microcosm of how we deal with these groups overseas. First there are friends, and then there are enemies, and then there are friends, and then there are enemies. And it just depends. And a lot of people die and are hurt by all of this. This is not neighborly by any ghost of a chance. So Duncan did a good thing in pointing this out to Napolitano, wanting to know about the Saudi that they've deported. She denied it at first, and then, of course, they actually have done that. He was apparently well known at the White House. Michelle Obama went to see him. The Saudi, diplomats went to the White House to negotiate some kind of a release. The whole thing stinks. What his part in all this is, who knows? But Congressman Jeff Duncan got it right, and I'm frankly sick and tired of our criminal elements in our government hiding behind this national security ridiculous statements. The national security should be for state secrets. All right. Well, I'm sorry, but in this society, we're supposed to have a congressional oversight committee that's aware of all of these things, and they're being told that it's none of their business.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, our democratic republic is bleeding from arteries at this point in time. We are bleeding from arteries. And I've said, I had some other things here, but I'm going to end on this because, and I know I really harp on this a lot. I would hope that there's something that we can do to stop this. Everybody rising up and pointing these things out. You know, when you have darkness and you shine light on it, it has a tendency to, you know, reveal it, of course, and it slows it down if nothing else. There's so many people that are awake. I've heard some commentators rightly complain about all these people in Boston going, USA, 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 when they've been locked down on martial law. You know, they've totally lost the concept of the Bill of Rights and independent freedom and all of that. So there's a tough job here, and it might not work. And I could throw all the reasons out. You know, we backed these unjust wars. We've gone along with it for our own greed or our own ignorance, thinking our leaders are, you know, some type of group of people that can't make any mistakes. Sort of like a spiritual leader. You know, some of these cults that follow these spiritual leaders that think that the spiritual leaders can't make any mistake whatsoever. And it's just not true. Without vigilance, we are in trouble. The decadence we have here, the murder of innocents. I mean, can you even believe that? Can you believe that in the United States of America, one nation under God, we actually get to the point where we argue if a child who survived an abortion and is alive and breathing, not that I like abortion at all, but I mean that's bad enough. But then we get a child that's born and they say it doesn't deserve to live even though it struggled to live. Unbelievable. Unbelievable that we have people in our government, you know, that own these abortion facilities. And now they come out with shirts for women saying, I had an abortion, like that's a badge of honor. You know, it's not. It's not. And you know that's not righteous. Okay? And most of us know that are here together. All right. Talked too much already. Still looking at some things. We'll probably have some good meaty stuff this week. Not that I want things to happen, I certainly don't, but we're already, you know, down the tracks. There are going to be more things, you know, with Obama losing his thing in the Senate there. You know, he's going to use executive orders. You know, they've now instituted it where you know, they're going to ban import of certain ammunition, parts, things like that. It's already hard as, I mean, it's nearly impossible to get ammunition right now. So interdicting those supply lines certainly worked. He's going to do more, and to justify it and to try to make it more legitimate, there will be more Bostons in those types of things. I've said that before, and I hope and pray all you folks out there, you know, protect yourselves. You know, do all the things that you need to do. Try to avoid, you know, crowded places. There's still those missing shoulder-fired missiles out there that were given to the Libyan rebels that were taken to Syria and who knows where else. This isn't fear-mongering. It's preparation, because it is going to happen. It is going to happen. They're in this. They have declared the shadow government, and even now out in the open, our regular government officials have declared war on the United States citizens. They have committed treason with what they're doing. We need to hold them accountable, everybody. And I'll stand here with you to do that, as will a lot of other good folks, okay? And I'd like to name some here, but I don't think they'd like me to name drop. They might not want to, you know, associate with me. But as far as the mission's concerned, we all need to stand together, okay? All right. Hey, thanks a lot. I hope you have a wonderful day, night, whatever, when this gets to you. Bye.